Hey, how you doing today, party people? I'm going to be showing you how to make this trim that you see all around me, and you can see it sort of changing because I am flipping through one of the settings. So we're going to be able to use this for our streams on YouTube or Twitch, either if you're using Streamlabs or just OBS Studios, or if you're streaming from Radeon Live or whatever. You could use this for whatever. And we're going to be making it on Blender, so the whole thing is free. You're not going to have to buy any like packs or like a file from online. You're not going to have to unpack anything. It's actually super simple, and you could make it yourself within just a few minutes. Honestly, if you know what you're doing, you can hammer it out in 5. If you want it to look pretty, it could take maybe 30 minutes, But it's honestly not hard, and we're going to go ahead and dive right into that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just try to find a reference photo of literally any monitor. So I'll just type in Dell. Okay, and then images. So I'm going to try to find, oh, it's actually right here. Okay, so when you're actually looking for these, you're going to save the image as, and it's a JPEG. Cool, you don't want that JF or some crap like that. So I'm going to put Dell monitor. Always name your files because you don't want to accidentally do something stupid. Reference. And then I actually have a spot specifically for reference photos. Okay, now what we're going to do is super simple. Here in Blender, we're just going to click hello at 1 on the number pad. Let's go ahead and go into front orthographic and then Shift A. We're going to go ahead and add an image as a reference. Then we're going to go ahead and find that image. So we're going to take this and we're just going to start sizing it to the scale of the monitor itself. Moving it around a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to thin it out by sizing on the Y. I was not clear at all on how to size stuff. My apologies. What you're going to be doing is just clicking on the object that you want to scale. Click S, and then you can scale it on the X, the Y, or the Z. Right to cancel, and left to finalize. And if you ever wanted to, you can click Control Z to go back, of course. But you probably already knew that. And if you had trouble getting that image, what you're going to do is go to Edit, Preferences, okay? You're going to go to Add-ons, and then just type in Image, and then you're going to click Import, Export Images Planes. Presto. Now we're all good. Now, let me move my face back into the corner. Now, we're going to try to cut out the screen. So we're going to hit Z, wireframe, and then we're going to edit this. 3 to select the faces, and we can click and drag to box select multiple faces. So we're going to grab that, click I to inset. So we're basically going to create new topology. And size Z to get it really accurate to the screen. You can click 2 on top to go ahead and click edges, and then we're just gonna scale this up more accurately. Awesome. Z solid to see what we're looking at so far. Cool. From here we basically don't need to do much else. You can click 3 to grab this and then extrude it, because I am actually looking at my monitor here, and it does have a little bit of a push out on the bottom here. Cool. And what I'm going to try to do is grab, by the way, click 3, click this, and then E to extrude it, and then finalize. And then I'm going to take 2, click this, Control B to bevel. But first, actually, before I do that, I'm going to click Tab to go back into object mode. I'm going to hold Control A, and then all transforms. Now that's going to clear everything and make that bevel work better now. So Control B, and then it's going to be a lot more smooth and actually working around where it should be. So we could just grab all of these. That might make it better. Alright, bevel those, and perfect. Okay. Next up, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, see, what we're going to do is hold Control R, and then we're going to go over here. About right here. Let's try to line it up. We'll hit Z, wireframe, and then if we actually hit GG, it will move it along the edges, right? And try to size X, is it on the 0? Yep. GG, move it to the edge. And then I'm gonna Control R, do the same thing, size it on the X0, then GG it all the way over this way. Cool. Go back into solid, Z, solid, and then we'll take 3. Go, we'll leave this one out of the equation. Go 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll not do 4. We'll do 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to extrude just a little bit. And then 2 to boom, 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 boom. A bang, 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 bang. We're going to grab all those, Control B. And then do another bevel, round it off so it's not so square. Cool. Now, 3 again. We're going to grab these 3, and then hold Control P to section. Oh, wow, not Control P. My apologies. That was silly. We're going to hit P only to section. Tab to get out of that. I'm going to click on this. And we're going to give it animation. So, I think it's just white, so it doesn't really matter. We'll just go whoop and make the strength like 5 so you can see it okay. Okay. Now, tab into that. We're going to take all of these faces, straight up just X, delete the faces. Or we could again P and then section them. And then we're going to grab this, just tab, click tab, 2, and then we can actually click X, and instead of deleting, we're going to go down to dissolve edges. Sweet. And then, yeah, now we just are stuck with that plane, which is exactly what we want. So this is going to be the glass. This is how we're going to see through shit, right? So we're gonna take the transmission. That's a setting that lets us see through it. We're gonna take it to 0.9. Then we're gonna take the alpha, which is again like all of the color data. We're gonna take that to 0.1 or 0.15, depending on your preferences. I'm gonna keep it kind of low, because the higher you have alpha and the lower you have transmission, the more it's actually gonna affect like the screen and how much it distorts your stream and everything else. Which you could really play with it and get some great effects. But I'm going to keep it a little bit low for now. So then what we're doing here, so this is ready, right? Click this, and we're going to put a loop cut with Control R right down the center. And if we click 7, we could actually see from top view. Go to wireframe, click 1 to only select the vertices. And we're only going to grab these back vertices, click X to delete those vertices. Go back into solid mode. I'm going to hide our reference photo now. And you can actually see what we're working with, the front half of the monitor. Now. Alright, so this is kind of what it's going to look like when it's done. Of course, we're not done yet, but the Suzanne is a little bit of a distance away from the screen. So you are sort of seeing like it is actually a transparent screen. We got a couple things to do before we can actually carry it over to Twitch. The first thing that we would need to do, of course, is, first of all, we're going to go over to the right side of the screen here, and you're going to go to Render Properties, you're going to go to Film, okay? And then you're just going to click Transparent. So all of this background stuff is just like not going to be Like, it's not going to show up color data in the image. So when we bring it over, you're not just going to be locked in with Blender's default gray background and all of that extra shit. No, it's actually going to like render the image as transparent. You could even use it as a sprite, like as a user interface for a video game or something if you wanted to. But it might not make sense at first. But we're going to go ahead and give it another render, and then I'll sort of show you more in depth of what I'm talking about. Alright, so now that you can kind of see the difference between the one that we just did a minute ago and this one here, you can actually see the checkerboard background, which is exactly what you would want. It's not just a solid gray, that's not just solid color data. So you can actually see that like there's a little bit of brightness here and reflection, and then there's not so much reflection here, but it's like also changing the color of the checkerboard pattern. That's kind of what we're going for, because we want this to look like a screen, like a TV screen, right? So check this out. What we're going to be doing is we're going to, wrong button. We're going to click on our light, okay? Where you can again find it in the hierarchy to the right. We're going to click on this green light bulb. That's going to be our, light properties, our object data properties. And we're going to turn it into a sun. Now, strength at 1,000 is fucking absurd, so we'll do like 3 or 5. And if we again go to item, on the right side, you'll see the sun's rotation, so you can just zero them out, and then we'll give it another render and see what that looks like. Alright, now you can see a little bit more of how this is going to work out for us. So the sun isn't going to be like a central point or like a spotlight or anything like that, so it can get you good, like, pretty decent illumination all the way around and a good look for it. And again, we still have the checkerboard pattern in the background, and you can definitely see that there is quite a bit of a difference in some areas with that little bit of, like glare-ish on the TV. And that's all we're going for, is just a little bit of glare. So I'm going to go ahead and remove, that's the wrong thing. I'm going to go ahead and remove Suzanne, and then I'm going to go ahead and render one more. I might be able to render this last one while we are here together. Sweet. And this is our result, right? Gnarly. So we can go ahead and click image, save as, and I'm gonna save it to I'm gonna make a new folder for this, and I'm just gonna call it trims. Okay, del trim. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and Control S to save, and name that del trim as well. Save Blender file. Always save like way beforehand, by the way. I just kind of knew that this wasn't going to make Blender crash, so I said YOLO. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, okay, we're going to click add, we're going to click image, and then we'll just call this trim, browse, and we're going to find that file from earlier. So it was in D trims, del trim. We can unload, and then we can definitely see the difference when we click use alpha and don't use alpha. But if you use the alpha, it'll give you a lot more glare. And even without it, I'll show you real quick. Click OK. I'll just take the trim and bring it below the camera, and you can see how the color changes on my camera. Bring it all the way down, and you can see how the color changes quite a lot. So it just gives you like an extra layer of effect, I kind of just think it looks a little funny, you know what I mean? And that way, if you are like doing a window capture, something like this could actually just hide the bottom like that, so it, looks a little cooler. But yeah, I mean, it literally looks like you're using a del. And from there, if you wanted to put like your channel name on this, right? We'll go ahead and show you how to do that real quick. Alright, so we're going to go ahead into Blender again. We're going to click 7 to go into top view, Shift A, and we're going to go down to text. Cool. Now it's just gonna say text at first, and it's gonna be a little funny. We'll raise that a little bit. Click 7 again. And then you just click tab, right? And you actually have to erase the word text for some reason. But let's just say like my Instagram is digital kangaroo 3D, right? So I'll do digital underscore kangaroo underscore 3D, right? Give myself a little bit of a shout out. I can scale that way down low. Okay, we're almost there. Almost. We can even go to the right tab here, and when we go to geometry, extrude, you can put like 0.1 just to see it from the side, you know what I mean? And let's go ahead and lower it into the mesh here. And that looks kind of even, right? We could use these squares to determine that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.5. So we'll try to just right about there. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and add a new texture to this. And I'm going to make it like a little more gray and reflective, kind of make it look like the color they do on the Dell monitors. So we'll do like a 0.8 for metallic on that. And for roughness, we're going to do like a 0.15. For something smaller, like you can get away with having the roughness way down low. But bigger stuff, you really have to pay attention to it. And yeah, from there, it's fucking simple. We render image. And then look at that. Perfecto al dente, right? Looks great. You could even color it if you wanted to, like red or, you know, purple. You could do like a gradient texture on it, decorate that little logo as much as you want. You could even, like, if you got sponsors on it, you could just line up sponsors all throughout the bottom here, even on top, you know what I'm saying? But this is really great because you could literally turn anything. You could make it look like an old, like, wooden trim tube TV from way back in the day. You just have like 1.5 million ways that you could just make something for free for your stream, instead of having to like hunt online and like put the files somewhere and then extract them and then put them in or whatever, however those processes go. This is way easier. Like, using Blender is super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah. Really? I'm gonna go ahead and just save over that one because I don't care. And then again, save it. Boom. And then yeah, it already changed because it's the same file spot. Sweet. Anyway, I'm going to stop jabberjawing right now and stop telling you how easy this is. If you felt like you could learn anything from this, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you do go ahead and like and subscribe, just go ahead and make as many of these as you can and write the word digital kangaroo all over them, and then send them to the IRS, because that would really spread the good word of my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and you have yourself a glorious evening.